What's up, guys? This is Rail Chief here, and welcome back to Layout Update Part 9. As always, my name is Mike, and we have a really great show for you all today. Now, I promised in my last video that I have a whole bunch of goodies and such, which I installed to both the layouts just recently. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at in today's video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Our first item here on the second layout is this Railroad Defect Detector, which is of course made by Lionel. And this is modeled after a real railroad defect detector system that they still use on the railroads up to this very day. And what this basically does is it basically scans the engine while it's passing by the system, and it scans the locomotive to make sure that there's no defects on the engine whatsoever. And in order to activate this, all you just have to do is open up the cover like this. And if we take a look inside here, we see we got two knobs and two switches. Now, the knob on the left side is to indicate how fast you want the system to activate. And then the knob on the right side here is for the volume control. And as for the way we want the system to activate, we want to make sure it activates quickly. So I'm just going to turn this knob here. And like I said, the one on the right here is for the volume control to indicate how loud you want this thing to be. And then on the top, we have the two switches. We have the one for how much crew talk we want inside here. And then the one on the right is for us to turn the system on and off. I usually just like to leave it off for the time being, because it can get a little bit of annoying after a while, but I do like to turn it on once in a while when I have visitors come over. And in order to install the top back on, all you just have to do is pop it into place. And that's pretty much it. So now that that's out of the way here, let's go ahead and move on to the other side of the train layout. So over here on the back side of the other layout, I finally installed my farm scene using my Plasticville farm set that I got from my dad. And I also added a couple of Woodland Scenics cow figures as well as some Lionel figures to add more to the scene. And there's actually going to be some cornfields in the back at some point. So right now, all I just have are the farmers who are doing their best to grow their crops. And then over in the front here, there's a cow who's looking at a kid and his father playing baseball. And he wants to make sure that he doesn't get smacked by the baseball while they're playing in the park over there. And I also still have my construction scene over there, so hopefully they don't give the farmers over here too much trouble. So moving along to the other side of the table here, as you can see, I removed the signal bridge that was here in front of the dispatching station originally, and I replaced it with the 397 coal loader. And I'm not really sure if I'm going to leave this here or not, but I'm just, testing things out to see how perfectly each accessory fits into the scene. So this is only just a testing site for now for the coal loader. As for the signal bridge, I moved it over to the second layout here, right where I have the little freight yard in the back section of the second layout on the table. Over on the other end here, I have this little intersection, which is sort of reminiscent for what I had on my old layout originally. And there is a little bit of a gap in between the switches here, and that's because I took all the pins out, because this intersection is actually insulated just like it was on my old layout, like I said earlier before. And the switches are non-operated, so I basically just have to come over and flip the switches over myself. But this siding is usually, this is basically how I'm going to be, parking the train or a couple of freight cars and such. So that way I can have a dead section and have my other locomotive sitting on the siding while, I'm running another train on the outer loop here. And I also added my little Plasticville freight station to the center there to add a little bit of a nice touch. And I also got to see if I can hook up the barrel loader at some point. I'm not really sure if it's going to be over here or not. But like I said, it's a little bit of a work in progress, and I'm just really happy how everything is coming along just perfectly. Now, since we're at the far end of the layout here, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a heads up when it comes to the accessories on the second layout. Now, ever since I installed the second table upstairs here in the train room, I had to disconnect a lot of my buildings and such from the transformer. And so now, the only couple accessories that I have in operation here are the rotary beacon tower, the 455 Lionel oil derrick, as well as the power station and the K-line gas station, which has the just plug lighting system installed inside of it. And as far as the buildings go, the only ones that are not hooked up here are the MTH train station, or the MTH train store, I should say, the general store from Woodland Scenics, the MTH office building, and the MTH church, which I have installed next to it, as well as the Lionel dispatching station with the vending machine in front of it. So you guys can rest assured that I will be hooking these buildings up again at some point. I'm not really sure when that is, but I do need to go through my toolbox to see if I can find the right length of wire, so that way I can hook up the buildings back up to the transformer. And not only just the buildings here, but the street lights as well. Okay, so moving along to the center part of the second layout here, I finally have my houses hooked up, as you can see. They're all lit up and they look very nice, and it's really starting to look like a community on the center of the layout here. Now, the only house that I still need to hook up is the one on the far end with the tannish type of finish to the building. And cosmetically, the only building here that I still need to work on is this one in the center, because I'm not really sure if you guys can tell, but there's like some kind of paint splattered on the top of the roof, so I'm not really sure how that happened. So if you guys have any good cleaning solutions, please make sure to drop them in the comments section below. The very last thing that I want to show you guys today before we wrap up today's video is something that I should have mentioned earlier before when I was talking about my insulated track section here on the layout. And that, of course, is the end, which is, in this case, the siding here on the layout. And this is where I'm going to be parking some of my locomotives that I'm not currently running. So in this case, I have the 105 MTH Hiawatha on the siding. And I'll actually show you guys this in operation in a much later video. So in order to power the siding here, all you just have to do is turn the throttle, or in this case, this is actually the second throttle on the ZW transformer, and that will apply the power directly to the track. So I hope you all have enjoyed today's layout update. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and please don't forget to hit the notification bell down below for any other projects that I upload. And by the way, this SD90, which I'm running now, will be featured in my next running session. So make sure you guys stay tuned, and I'll see you all in my next episode. Thanks again, and take care.